Well, it is Friday, and I am back in the office. Just got back in the office from Delaware County, Pennsylvania. I was representing a client at a preliminary hearing, and now I'm back in the office in Moorestown, New Jersey, getting ready to see some clients in the afternoon session. Came out the blog article today regarding the Alec Baldwin situation. Alec Baldwin, obviously an actor, was charged with involuntary manslaughter in New Mexico. In that blog article, I explained involuntary manslaughter versus voluntary manslaughter and then what the difference is. It's actually a very big difference. Voluntary manslaughter is what we often refer to as imperfect self-defense, or perhaps a crime done in the heat of passion. So voluntary manslaughter usually involves a situation where a person believes that their life is in danger and they act intentionally and they kill someone. Involuntary manslaughter is an unintentional act which results in the death of another person, usually in the form of gross negligence. Now, in this situation with Alec Baldwin, the facts are still coming out as far as what allegedly happened. I know that he made a statement to police saying that he didn't know the gun was loaded. Apparently, the DA in that particular county in New Mexico had a different understanding of what actually occurred, and she found that there was enough evidence, enough probable cause to charge Mr. Baldwin with the involuntary manslaughter. Now, in New Mexico, it is a felony offense, but it's graded as a felony, but the maximum punishment is 18 months of incarceration. And he's charged with 2 counts of it, so possibly as much as 36 months of incarceration in a state prison in New Mexico. In Pennsylvania, involuntary manslaughter is actually a misdemeanor charge. It's not a felony charge, but it's a misdemeanor of the first degree. And the maximum punishment is 5 years. So people have asked, could Alec Baldwin face potential prison time or jail time? Yes, it's a very, very real possibility. I don't believe that the DA's office in New Mexico is going to offer him a diversion program. This isn't like a simple assault case. This isn't a drunk driving case. While obviously those can be very serious, this isn't one of those cases. So I would imagine that there's going to be an offer made to his defense counsel that if the offer involves anything involving jail time, he's probably going to fight the case. Now, maybe if they have perhaps offer something house arrest, he may have a different position. I don't know how strong the evidence is, but if he's facing the possibility of a jail sentence or a prison sentence, and there's a way out, quote unquote, with a house arrest type plea, he's going to be sued anyway on the civil side. So really, in terms of that, that's a different standard, and I don't think that really plays into it. I think what they have to wrap their head around is how strong of this case that we have to go to trial. I don't think money's going to be an issue. I think he has plenty of money. He can hire plenty of lawyers. We can really drag this case out. But at the end of the day, if the case has to go to a jury, what is that going to look like? And potentially, if he's convicted, what type of sentence would he receive? Now, the sentencing guidelines, I imagine the maximum is 18 months. The guidelines probably call for a light county sentence, possibly even probation is probably in that range. But if you go to trial, quite often you receive a heavier sentence because you forced the state, or in the case of Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth, to proceed with the trial, and the state obviously had to spend resources and time. And in the case of Alec Baldwin, if he's fighting the case pretty aggressively, which I imagine he will do given he has the resources, that will be quite a expensive undertaking for the state. So if they have a conviction, I can almost assure people that the prosecutors will seek a jail sentence or a prison term. But again, involuntary manslaughter, misdemeanor, typically in Pennsylvania. It's a felony charge in New Mexico. If you have questions, 215-755-9000 in Pennsylvania, 856-793-7429 in New Jersey, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Website, gambleandlaw.com. As always, there's a tremendous resource for your family, all my books, my blogs, my videos. I'm going to link in that article that I wrote on Alec Baldwin. In addition, we will be coming out with another podcast. We are editing it now. We had Michael Henry on yesterday in the podcast talking about criminal law and immigration and the consequences of a criminal conviction when you are not a U.S. citizen. It's a great podcast, a lot of informative information. So please be on the lookout for that. In addition, it is Friday, it is the weekend. If you are driving, please don't drink and drive, be responsible. You are stopped for suspicion of DUI in Pennsylvania or DWI in New Jersey. Do not refuse the chemical test. It will never help a criminal case. If you are stopped by the police officer, be respectful, but do not consent to the search of your person or your property. Again, make it clear that you are not resisting the officer, but you are simply just not giving your consent to search the vehicle. If the officer asks you to make a statement saying that the statement might make the case different, with all due respect to the officer, that simply is not correct. If the officer has probable cause to arrest you based on something he's found, he must arrest you. He or she must do that. It's just their obligation under the law. So once again, if you have questions, 215-755-9000 in Pennsylvania, 856-793-7429 in New Jersey, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you all very soon.